Hi, Violet. I am recording this video so that, hold on, where's the, here we go. I'm recording this video so that you can learn how I trained Rakumai on my Tumblr posts, because you said that you were interested in seeing that. So I guess if there's anybody that isn't, I think there's anybody that isn't Violet that's watching this video for whatever reason. What I'm referring to here is my Discord bot that I made, because I was like, what if I made a silly little Discord bot based on my Tumblr posts? And then I also gave her a bunch of other personality traits, which are, oh, I guess this is all on my other computer actually, so let me pull up the repository. Right here, and let me pause the recording. Okay, there we go. So this is her system prompt. So honestly, and a lot of the stuff she actually wrote herself. Like I asked her, what's her name? And so she said, I want to be this name. Well, I had to wrestle with her a little bit because there's a lot of times where I'll ask her a question and she just doesn't answer. But she came up with this name, she came up with this username, she came up with these other usernames. The rest of this is all just kind of like me coming up with this stuff. This is me flattering myself. So of course her personality is pretty divorced from my personality on my post, but you know, still, she was trained initially off of my, or you know, she pings a GPT model that is trained initially off of my Tumblr post. So you know, but here's like an example of hi. Okay. I cannot believe she called me. I didn't tell her to call me that, to call me a master. For the record, that is nowhere in the system prompt. I just said that I was created by, that she was created by me. I didn't say all that. But anyway, I wanted to show you how to do that. So first what you're going to need is a program. I thought I had it open. First what you're going to need is a program called tumblr. And one thing I learned just right off the bat is you're going to want to run it out of its folder because it saves into the folder it's running out of by default. So you're going to want to get tumblr. You can get that here. Where's that repository? You can get it right here if it'll load. Oh, I don't want the discussions. There you go. Yes, so you can get that right here. Oh, I guess there's this too. They have a little GitHub website. I'll put this link in the description of the video. But so if you get tumblr, you open it and it looks like this. Hopefully, if someone's watching this video like 5 years later, I hope this program still looks something like this. Or else this will be completely useless. As you can see, it's already here. Let me just remove the blog so I can start from the very beginning. Okay, so you got this tumblr. All these details and stuff like that. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to your Tumblr blog or whatever Tumblr blog you want to be trained off of, which really should be yours unless you've gotten express consent from somebody else to train a bot on their posts, because you don't want to do that without people's consent. That's bad. That's bad. So anyway, you get your Tumblr blog here, you copy the link, and then you enter that here, and then you click add blog. Now when you add the blog, I think since it's already cached, it says the number of downloadable items already, but it should just like in a second it'll say that most likely. And so for me, this program is a little finicky, but it should be okay. So for me, I train it off of just my text posts. So I just uncheck everything except for text posts. Some of these other ones are technically just like different kinds of text posts, so if you want to like, you know, fiddle around with that, you know, that's completely fine. But for me, I'm just going text posts. So I uncheck everything except for download text posts. And then I use my tag Lane Speaks, because that's the tag that I use for like when I'm just like saying shit. You know, like, is there a good example? Yeah, like this. Like there needs to be a game where you can make posters and hang them on a wall. Lane Speaks. So that tag will have all of my posts where it's just me saying something, which is like the kind of stuff I wanted to train this bot off of. So we've got the Lane Speaks tag, we got download text posts, and for me, I also don't want to download reblog posts, and I don't want to download video thumbnails. And I always turn on force rescan, just because like if I change my mind and I want to do a different tag instead of the one that I you know, put originally, or if I forgot to put the tag or something, if I put force rescan, then it'll start all the way over and rescan for posts, and you know, do that and update it based on my new criteria. If you don't do that, then it'll just scan for new posts, and that's not really what you want to do. So all these other options, you know, again, you can mess around with these if you want. I don't really want to do any of these things, so I'm not going to. But also the tooltips, if you like mouse over them, it'll give you some info on like what each one of these does. So yeah, anyway, force rescan, Lane Speaks, download text posts. So now that's it. All this stuff, everything else, you can keep the same. Oh, and download location, you can change that if you want. Like I said, it automatically downloads in the folder that you're running the program out of, which should be its folder, because if not, then you're running it out of System32, and you need admin privileges to, you know, create files in System32. So it's going to error out like immediately if you do that. But anyway, so now what I want to do is I'm going to double click on it, which I guess I don't really do for any particular reason, and then I click add to queue, and then oh, it's already in the queue. I guess that's the double clicking it does. So then I double click it in the queue. No, I click download, and then so what it's going to do, first of all, is it's going to crawl the post, and it's going to evaluate each post and be like, which ones of these fit the criteria that have been specified by whoever, you know, me in this case. And so as you can see, it's evaluating all of them, and it's narrowing it down. I don't know where the downloadable, here we go. So downloaded items, it tells you how many it's downloading. It should be 175 for me, because that's how many posts right now have the Lane Speaks tag. And so once that's done, it'll, you know, it's still evaluating, and it's got to check all of them. But, you know, I didn't start using the Lane Speaks tag this far back, and I wasn't really doing text posts that much either. I only started doing that pretty recently somehow. But once this is done, it's going to say progress complete. Last complete crawl is going to be just right now. And so now, in the blogs folder, you can see it's outputted a file called texts. And what that is basically, it has the post ID right here. It's got the date, it's got the URL, the slug, which I guess is this, and then all this other stuff. And so it has a title and the body, which is a text, and then the tags. So in this case, obviously all that information could theoretically be useful, but in this case, all I want is the text, is the content of the post. So that would be the body right here. And so I've set up a Python program, and I'll go ahead and put this on GitHub and throw it in the description too, so that this can be used by all. But basically, I have a Python program here that I made with the help of a robot. It was not just me. There are plenty of programs that I have made by myself and that I'm very proud of, but this is not one of them because I was feeling lazy. But anyway, so it gets the body, and it extracts the text from within the paragraph elements, and then it I'm sorry, these are all the different pieces of the, let's go to the where it actually does things. Okay, so it looks for this text file, so you're going to want to get this folder and then put a text.txt file in there, which is just the output of tumblr3. right? And so you want to put this in the same folder as that. And then when you run it out of that folder, which is going to be this folder, then you can, let me just get rid of this. Those are messages from my friend. But anyway, you want to put the text file in the folder, and then it's going to parse the text file, which means it's gonna, get the paragraph elements out of the, or the text out of the paragraph elements. Oh no, that's what this one is gonna do. This one, what does this do? Oh, so it extracts just the body part of the text of each file. So then it can extract the text from the paragraphs. Sorry, I made this a while ago, so I didn't really remember what the steps were here. So then it gets the final text, and it squishes it all together, and then it outputs it into a JSON lines file, which happens to be in the exact format that OpenAI's fine-tuning thing takes as training data. So for me, from what this one says, and you can see here, if you want to change the specific system prompt, here's where you can do that. Right here at this bottom part, you can just change it to, I don't know, you're gay or something like that, which is also helpful advice. Why is that? Oh, there you go. And then also the user response, or the user, what it's responding to as well. You can change that. But so what it does is it gets all of these messages, it gets all these posts and makes them kind of, submits them as training data. God, I can't talk today. For the OpenAI thing. Anyway, let me just so once you have the training.json lines file, what you can do now is you go to the fine-tuning menu in OpenAI. So I don't really remember how to get to this, but if you go to this URL right here, then it'll take you to the fine-tuning menu. So I'll put that in the description, and in fact I'll copy it here so I don't forget. And let me copy the other one. What was the other? Oh, tumblr repository, right? Yes, I put that in there too. Okay, so what you first want to do is you want to click create, and supervised. I don't really know the difference between these two, to be honest. I haven't even clicked on the other one. But the base model, I go with 4.0 because I think it's the best of the 4 base models. But I don't think, if you don't have a paid account, then I don't know if you can even access 4.0 right now. I'm not sure. I can't really keep track. I'm on my dad's account, so I have no idea. But that's not really the point. So we've got GPT 4.0. And then you want to upload the training data, which is just going to be your training.json lines file. That should be fine. Oh, for the record, so sometimes it'll happen like this, where it'll make it be multiple lines. You don't want it to be like that. They have to all be one line. You have to figure out some kind of creative way to make them all be one line. If you want to have multi-line posts as training data, then you're going to have to, but I just deleted all of them because I was like, whatever, it's just a couple posts to remove. But they all need to be one line, and they all need to be in this exact format, or OpenAI won't take it. Hence why I have a program to automate that, because that's ridiculous. But once you know it's a valid format, you can upload it here, and then you can mess with these if you want. Oh, this is useful. Usually you want to do a suffix so that you can see, because these all have this is like a suffix, so that way I can identify it easily. And then you click create. So as you can see now, it's validating the files, making sure that it is valid training data, that the format is correct and everything. So this is the last one I did. So as you can see, it started at about 1:26 in the morning, and it finished at around 1:42. So it took about, I want to say, like, it was like 15 minutes. And that was with about, how many posts is that I was feeding into it? That's like, it was like 150 posts. So it's 15 minutes or 150 posts. So I guess it's probably about like 10 posts per minute is what I would estimate. And so you want to so it'll probably take about that long in general for fine tuning, and so basically you just gotta sit here and wait. And I'm not gonna make you sit here and wait. I'm gonna pause the recording. One thing that I like about this is that if you keep checking back, you can see this little chart, and it like updates like dynamically. So if I click out of it and then go back into it, it's like different. And then I do it again. So it like increases with every step. And so sometimes that's a cute way to check back every now and then on your model, is you can just like click out of it and go like, it's so cool. It gets me every time. Okay, so the process is now done. As you can see, it took about 15 minutes, so I was pretty on the mark there. And here's the full chart. So now this model is completely trained. And if you want to play around with it, they have a playground, which I think is really cool. This is actually how I ended up, you want to close out of this. This is actually how I ended up formulating her personality in the first place. Was I just kind of was experimenting with changing the system message and how it would change the actual responses. And so you can say like, you're a really cool gal and you're awesome. And then I say, hi, really cool gal. Hi, what you up to? Anyway, yeah. So, and what you can do, so what I like to do is play around with the temperature, because if you increase the temperature, even if you increase it a little bit, like say I want it, you can go all the way up to 2.0, but say I just want to do 1.10. Now, if I just do 1.1, which is a tenth of the maximum that you can change the temperature from the default, if I do that, then I'm gonna say, hey, what you doing, my good friend? Oh. I spelled splendid wrong, I just... Huh, okay. So it's not as crazy. Maybe it was just doing that with the other one, the other model, but it was doing some crazy stuff. But if I do turn the temperature higher, like 1.3 maybe, yeah, turn the temperature higher, and I'm burning up. Whatever. Trying to get it to speak at length, because that's, yeah, there we go. So that's kind of what happens if you turn the temperature too high, is it does stuff like that. So let me try this again. Yeah, see, even at 1.10 it does this. So you want to, if I do want it to be outside of 1.0 because sometimes they can be a little crazy. I want it to be a little crazy, then I put 1.05, and usually, okay, see, even that, geez, yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find a balance with temperature, but if you do, it's cool. It makes them a little crazy. I like it. But anyway, so in terms of integrating into a Discord bot, so it's really pretty simple. Okay, so all of this is just how I start off with my Discord bots. You can just ignore all that, except for this. So I have an environment variables file, which obviously I'm not gonna, oh, I didn't even clone it. I cloned this from my other computer. But there's an environment variables file on that computer that contains my ChatGPT API, which, by the way, if you want to do that, get an API key. Wait, let me go back to this here. I can't remember how I did that. Oh, API key. So you want to go here and do API key. I don't know if it's going to show my dad's name on there, so I'm just going to not do that. But once you get that API key, you can just make an env file. You can just look up how to do this, I suppose. Okay, basically what it is you make a file called .env, and then you put, so what do I have it as API? So I put API equals whatever, then this, so if I use this load.env method, and then use this os get env method, and I put API, which is the key that I have the API key under, then it'll assign that to the variable without making it public to the actual repository, because I can just git ignore this file, and it'll be like, it'll be hidden. So that's a useful way to do that without making it public if you want to put it on GitHub. But anyway, so all that really you need to do to integrate your model is in whatever situation where you need to query the model, which for me, I made a function out of it because I ended up like having this all over the place, and the code was getting really long and needlessly complicated. And see now, whenever I want to send a message, I just say response equals think, and it's like way shorter. But all you have to do is you have to use this format, which is given in this menu. If you go back to the playground and you click code, go back to the playground and you click code, then it'll give you this format. This is basically the form. I basically copy pasted this to here. And yeah, you want to have the client. Where even is that? Client equals. Oh, I already did that. Yeah. Okay, so you want to put basically just this template right here. Put that in there, except you adjust it so that it has a system prompt right here, which is in a variable that it gets from this file, and then you have the user prompt, which is just the message that the bot is going to be responding to, which is also a variable in my case. And then you keep all this stuff here. This doesn't change really. And then, or excuse me, unless you want to adjust the temperature, which you can. But yeah, that's really all there is to actually integrating it into the bot. And everything else is just like how to make a Discord bot, which I'm sorry, but I can't teach you that in this video. That's too much. But anyway, that's the process. I don't know if this is confusing. I improvised this instead of, planning it out like I usually do, because this is just for one person. But if anyone else is watching this and is annoyed with me not being very good at this, I'm sorry, but I hope this still helped. And if it doesn't, comment on the video. I'll probably still be using YouTube, so I'll answer your funny little questions if you ask them. But yeah, links to all this stuff in the description. And yeah, okay, thank you for watching. Yeah.